What's happening, my friends? It's Cass Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. And that's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Showtime the Guy, PASS, from St. Louis, Missouri, joining us today. What's up, Showtime? Mike Mazik. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, my friend. Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Box Storian. Today, amateur boxing. How is everyone this Tuesday afternoon? Still early in the week, but you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Storian. And that's me, your friendly neighborhood box storian, bringing you all that boxing history. That's right, boxing, the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Amateur boxing today. Was supposed to do this last week, but we're going to get it done today. We're going to talk about the history of amateur boxing. We're going to talk about some of the competitions like the Olympics, Pan American Games, the Commonwealth Games. And I know you've heard people talking about boxing is going to be dropped from the Olympics. That's not true. Potentially, but it hasn't been dropped yet. It's definitely going to be in 2024, and it could possibly be in 2028. I'm going to address that today, too, because it has not been dropped from the Olympics, okay? Potentially, it may, but not yet. But how's everybody doing this Tuesday afternoon? Real Prison Talk. Salute. How are you? Welcome to Cass Sports, the Box Storian. We talk all that boxing history over here. All kind of aspects of our sport. You get it here. You know, different types of body styles. Of course, history. We talk promotional companies, sanctioning bodies, referees, judges, trainers, everything. Fans. But salute and welcome, Real Prison Talk. It's good to see you. Oh, okay. It's Coach. Okay, what's up, Coach? Yeah. Like Coach is thinking about starting his channel. That would be a great addition to the lineup. That's Coach Thomas Morris, Real Prison Talk. We might have a fire new channel coming. Looking forward to that. We got definitely got AWM coming Friday. Angry White Men, 7 p.m. Friday. That's William Old School of Rant and D1 have got together and started a channel. And don't miss that Friday at 7 p.m. I'm not going up there on their panel though, because those are two rough guys there, man. Don't get on the wrong side. Tread lightly in there. I am. I might just stay in the chat and be silent, because those are two angry white men. Okay, that's the title, and it fits them like a glove. You'll find out Friday night at 7 p.m. Looking forward to that. Angry White Men. William Old School of Rant and D1. That's coming up Friday. All kinds of stuff going on in the JBT. We got the raffle going on. I got the commercial, but I can't get it to work right, so I got to do it word of mouth. It started already. Okay, Coach. Coach has started his new channel. Everybody, Real Prison Talk. So we got to check that out. That's another fire channel added to the JBT. We are very versatile over here. We got it all. Okay. And steadily adding new channels to the lineup. So we got Angry White Men Friday. We got Real Prison Talk from Coach already started. The JBT is moving right along. Oh yeah, and we had the raffle coming up. It's going to be done on July 13th. Just $10 to win a 55-inch color TV. Where do they do that at? $10 for a 55-inch color TV. And somebody is going to win it. Okay? $10 gets you one chance. And nobody's limited to the amount of chances they want to get. Just $10 per chance. You want 100 chances? You know what you got to do. What is that, $1,000? So yeah. But at least get one, because somebody is going to win this TV. And then the drawing will be July 13th at the meet and greet. If you're not in attendance, you will be notified. And the truck will bring it right to your house. Be on the lookout for it. Because they do put people's stuff outside the doors. I got two 55 inches and they put one of mine outside the door. I was coming up and I'm like, what's that sitting on the step? It was my TV. Yeah. They just left it there. Anybody could have rode by or walked by and just got it. Threw it on in their car or whatever. Yeah. And I would have blamed it on the people never delivered it. But they shouldn't do that. When I was younger, back in the old days, they would try to deliver it once and they would leave a pink slip on your door. That's what they would leave on your door, not the TV, a pink slip. And take your TV to the post office. You just had to pick it up. You know? Yeah, that's the proper way to do it. But nowadays, everything has got so rushed and everybody's in a hurry, you know. It's just crazy. But yeah, July 13th is the drawing. And if you win, be on the lookout for your 55-inch TV. Got to be a winner. So that's the real deal there. But that's coming up. And coming up today is the JBT, is the amateur boxing. Let's take a look at the week real quick too. Tomorrow is a show that comes out of the chat. And this week it's going to be brought to you by Jay Hardcore. Excuse me, I was messing around with this volume, I'm sorry. And it's going to be power punches, knockout punches. All about the power guys. We're going to talk about one-punch knockouts, look at some of the most devastating knockouts of all time with some pictures. And then we're going to profile some of the top power guys of all time, some of the top knockout punches of all time. That's tomorrow. Thursday, the new series starts on the history of boxing on each state in the United States. Start with Alabama, alphabetical order. And it's going to be one every week. Do a different state every week. And then a history of boxing in that state. Some of the boxing organizations. Like the University of Alabama has a boxing club. I did not know that. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. And then, of course, the profile on some of the top boxers from that state. And guess what? Alabama has Joe Louis from Alabama, Evander Holyfield from Alabama, Deontay Wilder, among others. So Alabama has some great boxing alumni, man. Wow. Let's look at those three. Joe Louis, Evander Holyfield, and Deontay Wilder. 2 of the 3 already in the Hall of Fame. And I think it's safe to say Deontay has had a Hall of Fame career. Yeah, I think he has. Yeah. And on down the line, every Thursday, once per week. History of boxing in one of our states. And then Friday, the profile is Lewis. John Henry Lewis. Okay. Good friend of Joe Louis. They fought at the end of his career because he was going blind in one eye. And being that he was a good friend of Joe Louis, and Joe Louis was the cash cow. Like a tank fight is now. Everybody wants it because you're gonna get paid. That's how Joe Louis was. And he gave his friend John Henry Lewis a fight so he could get a big payday before the commissions stripped him of his license due to his eye issue. Yeah. And then Joe Louis got him out of there in one round so he wouldn't have to damage his eye too bad. That's a good friend, man. Knock you out in one round so it won't hurt you too bad, do any more damage to your eye. That's a great friend. Yeah. Plus, allowed you to make one more good bag. Mm-mm-mm. But that's who the profile is Friday, John Henry Lewis. About 15 minutes, we're going to start talking about amateur boxing. And I got like 10 former amateur standouts, like Lomachenko. Katie Taylor had a great amateur career. There's only been 3 amateur boxers that's ever won 3 gold medals in the Olympics, and I got all 3 of them. 2 of them from Cuba, Felix Savon and Teofilo Stevenson, and Laszlo Papp from Hungary. Only 3 guys to win 3 Olympic gold medals. Laszlo Papp did it first, then Teofilo Stevenson and Felix Savon, the 2 Cuban guys that did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. They tried to get some American promoters named the Bob Father, Don King. They tried to get Teofilo to come out of the app to turn professional and fight Muhammad Ali. Offered him $5 million, which in the 70s, $5 million today would be about $40 million, right? But Teofilo turned it down. I think some kind of way one time, that might have been the time they offered the country, Cuba, a lot of money, the promoters did, but the United States State Department stepped in and stopped it. Relations were very strained with Cuba around that time. I mean, they didn't want all that money going to the Cuban government. So, yeah, they stepped in and stopped the fight because they were going to get it popping at one time, yeah. But, yeah, the United States government stepped in. Mm-hmm. Well, don't they step in there and get this boxing straight? That's what they need to do. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, we never got Teofilo and Ali. It would have been a good one. Early 70s, I give it to Ali. Late 70s, Teofilo might have got him because Ali was getting older. Late 70s, I think Teofilo probably would have beaten him. Mm-hmm. Ali got beat by Leon Spinks, Larry Holmes, Trevor Berbick. So it's a safe bet to say Teofilo would have got the job done against him. Early 70s, different story, but yeah. I would say it depends on the time. Mm-hmm. First video is up on Real Prison Talks channel with Tommy. Real Prison Talk with Tommy. The first video is up, everybody. So make sure you check that out and subscribe. Hey, Coach, if you can, put your link in there. Put your link in the chat there. So everybody can just hit that and go straight to your channel. I'll pin it. Everybody to come in can hit it and go straight to your channel and subscribe to you. Mm-hmm. Right now. And then come on back over here. Yeah. But yeah, go subscribe to Real Prison Talk with Tommy. Okay. That's the thing with this YouTube, man. You can come up with something different. You don't see a whole lot of shows, prison talk shows. You see some, but not a whole lot like all the shows just talking about boxing and the day-to-day happenings in boxing. You see a gazillion of them, but you don't see a whole lot of real prison talk shows. That's what sells in these YouTube streets. Being different, And the JBT is versatile, man. We got a fashion show. We got the best man around at breaking down fights. We got me, the history show. We got a hangout, the voice of the streets. Of course, the Mighty Rise podcast is one of the baddest channels on YouTube. And now we got a prison talk show. So we are very versatile. You can get everything over here in the JBT. But yeah, go subscribe to that. Real Prison Talk with Tommy. That's Coach. He was just talking about that yesterday. And yeah, I thought it would be a good idea. Looking forward to that. And don't forget the Angry White Men Friday. William Old School and D1. Yeah, that's gonna be good. hmm It don't take much to get either one of them guys going. Yeah, and I mean they go from 0 to 100 instantly. Yeah, so that's gonna be very interesting. I talked to Old School the other day. He's ready, and also me and Old School got something coming up too. A profile on Max Bayer. Whenever he can get free from his work. Work comes first, but yeah, he'll get a day off, and we're gonna, cause he got a lot of information on Max Bayer, and we're gonna do a profile on him. It may not be a Friday, but we're gonna do it. Have to switch the day around that week. And don't forget tomorrow is a J Hardcore idea on power punching, knockouts, one punch knockouts. Talk about the guys with the best power in history. hmm Speaking of power punches, we got that monster from Baltimore Saturday. It's fight week. Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. 3 cards in all. We got Subriel Matias and Liam Paro, remember, from Puerto Rico, where Subriel is from. And then we got the card from England, too. Chris Billiam Smith putting his light heavyweight title on the line. Yeah. So big boxing weekend coming up. We're going to be busy. No Pro Box week, unfortunately. I guess they'll go to every week eventually. But this is we had quite a few Friday night fights this year. This is like 6 or 7, something like that. A couple Thursdays. No opponent for Boots yet, huh? I don't think. I haven't heard anything. Anybody heard anything? Because we are approaching that fight, and that's the meet and greet. Was planned around the Boots Cody Crowley fight. So Cody had to back out because he failed his eye test. Yeah, I knew he wears glasses, but I didn't know his eyes were that bad. Yeah. So Ryan Frazier came with a good one yesterday. He said, forgot who he said already. I think the guy with Golden Boy, I can't call his name, but if he was, because I heard David Avenesian's name, please, not David. That would be a slaughter. David Avenesian and Boots. That would be ugly. Or Barrios. The Barrios fight recently or coming up or something? Virgil's at 54. Because of him and Tim Zoo's fight, isn't that off? Yeah, but Virgil's at 54. But they better come up with somebody soon because it's hard enough to get somebody to fight Boots on regular notice. And on short notice, the closer you get, is the harder it's going to get somebody to get in there with them. But you still got a month, just about a month, 4 weeks. The guy came on Pro Box last week with 2 weeks and starched the guy, stretched him out. So, yeah. The amount of time between now and July 13th is plenty time to get yourself in shape. Because you're supposed to be kind of in shape anyway, but they don't. They blow up between fights and everything. But back in the old days, guys were always ready because you never know when that call's going to come. So you're supposed to be ready. You don't want to miss that bag when you get that opportunity, So 4 weeks is enough time to whip yourself in shape and get ready. Get in there with Boots, July 13th. But we'll see. But that's the meet and greet when we're giving away the big 55-inch TV. The Cash App is in there. Got to be a winner. The more chances you take, the better your chances are. So, at least get one. I got to get one person. I got one yesterday. We've challenged each other for everybody to at least get one person every day. I got one yesterday. Well, I don't know if they got them, but it was sent during my show, so I'm taking credit for it. Right? Somebody joined the raffle during my show, so I'm taking credit for that person. So that was my one for yesterday. Okay? It don't have to be during the show now. You can get them anytime, but I got one yesterday because it was sent between 2 and 4, so that was my person. Yeah. But we got a few more people coming, like Lonnie Lee. Al Booker should be here. Let's talk fashion. Jay Hardcore might stop by. Oh, that was that JBT panel discussion has been a great idea. That has been a smashing success, man. One of the bigger shows of the week. The two big ones for me is the Monday, the JBT panel discussion, and the profile on Friday. I always get up near 30 likes on both of those shows. And yesterday was fire. We had an all-star panel. We had Ant McQueen, Jay Hardcore stopped by, Coach Thomas Morris, Ryan Frazier came up for the first time, Thomas Hill, and Remo. Fire panel. That has been a smashing success, that JBT panel discussion. Two best shows, Monday and Friday, isn't that something? Bookends. And don't do too bad on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in between. But Monday, the JBT panel discussion, and Friday, the profile, been very good for me. Yeah. But don't miss tomorrow too, because it's a J Hardcore idea about the power punches. We're going to be starting in about 5 minutes now on the amateur boxing show. Hope it sounds okay. Phone is a touch tone. I like the mouse better. I was trying to turn it down and it went up. That's going to be good right there. Now I got to go to the slideshow, and we are ready to go. I know Lonnie Lee will be here. Whoever's not here is going to just miss the beginning. I'm sorry. And don't forget Real Prison Talk with Tommy. His first video is up. Get over there and subscribe to it. Just put in Real Prison Talk with Tommy. Should come up. He might drop the link in a minute. We'll see. But let's get ready to start with amateur boxing. We're going to talk about a history of amateur boxing. Then we're going to talk about some of the amateur competitions, like I said, like the Olympics, the Pan Am Games, the Commonwealth Games. Like the Pan Am and Commonwealth all lead into the Olympics. I think the Commonwealth is like 2 years before the Olympics, and the Pan Am is the year before. And I know the Pan Am Games, the champions in each sport gets in the weight categories automatically are in the Olympics. I'm pretty sure the Commonwealth Games go that way too. Yeah. What'd you say, Mike? I should fight Bruce. No, not me. I wouldn't have been fought him when I was young. He'll never kill me in there. If I can take a baseball bat or a pistol or something, I'll get in there. But just me and my fists against Boots, no way. That would be the end of Cass Sports as we know him. No way, Mike. I'm not doing it. No. Mike, you got the boxing background. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, remember? You boxed in Jimmy the Cat's gym. See if you still got any of that training, Mike. And the JBT's meet and greet, the JBT's own Mike Masick against Boots. Not me. You will have seen your last Cass Sports episode if I do that. But let's get ready to get started. But it was a thought, Mike. But no, mm-mm. They'll find somebody. Or if it depends on me, it just won't be a fight. No. Okay. Yeah. I'll put it in there tomorrow, Coach. I'll go get it, and I'll drop it in here tomorrow for you. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to. Wait a minute. Yeah. Bear with me for 1 minute. I'm gonna go get Coach's link. I'll put it in there. Is everybody okay? This is Tuesday afternoon. It's still early in the week. We're going to be talking about amateur boxing today. I'm going to get Coach's link and just put it in there. Okay. Bear with me for a second. Won't take but a second. Real prison talk with Tommy. If I can get it. Oh, there it is right there. No, that's somebody else. Then I got to search through it to find it. This is Big Sid, Real Prison Talk. Wow, I wouldn't want to been in there with Big Sid. Big Sid, Real Prison Talk. Wow. That sounds serious. First day in. But if not, I would definitely have the link tomorrow and put it in for you. You can go straight over there and subscribe. Okay? We'll do it that way. Yeah. Let me try one more thing. Bear with me. Don't leave. There it is. I got you, Coach. Okay, I'm going to drop this link in for Coach. Okay? I got it. I put in Real Prison Talk with Tommy, and it came up. I just subscribed to you, Coach. Yeah, there we go. YouTube.com/@Real Prison Talk. @Real Prison Talk. Okay. Okay. Okay, here comes Coach's link. And then we're going to start the show. Okay. Oh, shoot. Messing up already. Bear with me, everybody. Yeah, my big fingers. I'm sorry. We're going to start the show in a minute. It'll be quiet for 1 second. I believe this is right. There it is. That's Coach's link. Hit that link, go subscribe, and then come on back. Okay? So let's get this show started. There you go, Coach. Okay? Hit that link, go subscribe to Coach's new show, and then come on back. Now let's get started. Amateur boxing. Okay? Hit that link, subscribe to Coach's new show, and jump on back in. Oh, now Coach has got it in itself now. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. I didn't add the. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Hit either one of those links. There we go. All right, Coach. Yeah, you can hit either one of those will take you to it. But hit coaches. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right, let's start. Amateur boxing. Now, amateur boxing is a version of boxing competed at the collegiate level. I don't have my marker. There we go. At the collegiate level, the Olympic Games, the Pan American Games, the Commonwealth Games, as well as many associations, little local tournaments, that type of thing, throughout the country, throughout the world, really. Now, amateur boxing fights, they're short in duration, right? Consisting of 3 rounds of 3 minutes for men and 4 rounds of 2 minutes for women. Each comes with a 1-minute break in between rounds, men and women. Now, men's fights changed from 4 2-minute rounds to 3 3-minute rounds on January 1st, 2009. Okay? Now, this type of competition awards points based on the number of clean punches landed rather than physical power, as some judges grade by at the professional level. Amateurs is strictly clean punches landed. And also, this short format allows tournaments to have fighters compete in several fights over several days. Like today is Tuesday, a tournament starts, you fight today, only 3 rounds, 3 minutes. You could come back and fight in the next round, say like Thursdays. Unlike the professional ranks, the longer fights, those fighters have months between their fights, okay? Now, in amateur boxing, a referee monitors the fight to ensure that competitors use only legal tactics, okay? Legal blows, legal tactics. Now, a white belt is worn over the torso in amateur boxing, and below that white belt is illegal. That's one thing that professionals could take away from amateur boxing, because some professionals, trunks pulled way up in the chest, and the referee got to physically stand there in the face-off and point out what's legal and illegal. And the amateurs, that white belt, no matter what size, shape, is in the same position on each fighter, and below it is illegal. So that's one thing they could pick up from amateur boxing at the professional ranks. That white belt has to be in the exact same position on every fighter. And the referee will definitely know anything below it is illegal. Yeah. Nowadays, amateur boxing is sometimes called Olympic style boxing, but we cannot confuse that with Olympic boxing. It's just called Olympic style boxing, but it's not Olympic boxing. Now, Olympic boxing is definitely a part of amateur boxing, but it could be seen as on the verge of professional boxing. Okay? Jorge Franks, Thomas Hill in the building. Jorge Franks, Thomas Hill. And I want to just remind everybody coming in, Coach has started his new show. The link is up there in the chat. Hit that. Subscribe. You can hit the link, go over there, subscribe, and come on back over here. Okay? But it's called Real Prison Talk with Tommy. He has started his channel. Jorge Franks hashtag JBT, Thomas Hill hashtag JBT in the building. Now back to amateur boxing. Okay? Now, like I was saying, nowadays, amateur boxing, sometimes referred to as Olympic style boxing, but it's different from Olympic boxing. In Olympic boxing, is definitely a part of amateur boxing, but it could be seen as on the verge of professional boxing. Many Olympians often are compared to professional boxers in terms of skills, right? And as a rule, coming out of the Olympics, you receive a quick start as far as the rankings upon turning pro compared to amateurs with no Olympic background, right? With no Olympic experience. Yeah. Coming out of the Olympics, sometimes you receive a higher ranking than just an amateur with no Olympic experience. Yeah. hmm That happens. Now, let's look at a little history of amateur boxing, okay? Just briefly. I'm not going to bore you, I promise. Now, amateur boxing emerged as a sport during the mid to late 19th century, okay? Between like 1860 to 1900, around in there. In England, the Amateur Boxing Association, or the ABA, was formed in 1880. Then it held its first competition, its first championships the following year. And originally it had 4 weight classes, right? And in England, they don't go by pounds, they go by stone. And 1 stone is equal to 14 pounds. So those 4 original weight classes were featherweight, which was 9 stones, which comes out to 126 pounds, right? Lightweight, 10 stone. So, 1 pound, 1 stone, 14 pounds. So 10 times 14, that's 140, right? For lightweight. Middleweight was 11 stone plus 4 pounds, which came out to 158 pounds. And the 4th division was heavyweight, which has always been unlimited, right? Now, originally, those first championships in 1881 was just English boxers, right, from England. But by 1902, American boxers were competing for titles in the ABA, or the Amateur Boxing Association. So championships began to take on a complexion, right? Now, internationally, amateur boxing spread steadily throughout the first half of the 20th century. But when the first international boxing body, the International Olympic Boxing Federation, was formed in Paris in 1920, there were only 5 member nations. But however, in 1946, when the International Amateur Boxing Association, the AIBA, was formed in London, 24 countries from 5 different continents were represented. And the AIBA, the Amateur Boxing Association, the International, the Amateur International Boxing Association, AIBA, has continued to be the official World Federation of Amateur Boxing ever since to this day. And the first World Amateur Boxing Championships were held in 1974. Prior to that, only regional championships took place. The only other worldwide events were the Olympics and military boxing championships. And they started military boxing championships in 1947. So now, let's look at some of the amateur competitions, like the Olympics, Pan American Games, Commonwealth Games, and then there's other regional. But those are the big 3 amateur competitions. And the Pan American and Commonwealth have a direct bearing on the Olympics, okay? Because all the finalists or the champions for those 2 competitions automatically get berths in the Olympics. But let's talk about the Olympics first. Lonnie Lee in the building. What's up, Lonnie Lee? How are you today? This is about amateur boxing. And we got some new channels too. We got the Angry White Men, Friday at 7 o'clock, and Coach Thomas Morris has Real Prison Talk with Tommy. The link is in the chat. Oh shoot, I meant to pin. The link is in the chat though. Hit the link, go subscribe to him, and then make sure you come on back over here. And Coach's first video is up too. First video is up. Okay. So let's look at the Olympics, one of the amateur competitions. After I take a drink first. That's good. Okay, the Olympics. Now, boxing made its first appearance at the 1904 Summer Olympics. Now, they had it in The Olympics in 688 BC in Rome, but we don't know none of the participants or anything from that one. So really started in the modern era, 1904 in St. Louis, Missouri. Okay. Now, due to few competitors at the time, only North American boxers competed in the first edition. Now, since that 1904 Olympics, boxing has been contested at every Summer Olympics since, except 1912, which were held in Stockholm, Sweden. And the martial arts were banned in the country of Sweden at that time, of course, which includes boxing. Okay. Now, the 2012 Summer Olympics, women's boxing events were added to the program for the first time. 2012. We're going to talk about that later. Katie Taylor got her goal in that one. But women were added in 2012 for the first time. Then in 2016, the International Boxing Association, IBA, we're going to talk about them in a minute too, allowed professional boxers to compete in Olympic events, previously being limited to amateur boxers. Okay? Now, I want to address that. I know you hear I had myself muted, man. I am so sorry. Now, boxing has not been, you hear people saying boxing has been eliminated from the Olympics. It has not been. Now, the IBA was the sport that governed boxing in the Olympics. The IO's International Olympic Committee withdrew recognition of them, and right now there's no sport over boxing in the Olympics. So right now it's not included on the program for 2028. And the IOC has set a deadline of early 2025, the year after this year's Olympics, to have another organization in place so boxing can be included in the 2028 Olympics. If not, it won't be included. But the good news is there is an organization called World Boxing that's applied for that position. And if they are recognized by the IOC, boxing will be in the 2028 Olympics. But even if it's not in 2028, that still doesn't mean it's permanently eliminated from the Olympics, because they might have an organization in place by 2032. So when you hear people say boxing is no longer part of the Olympics, that's not true. Okay? Potentially might not be in 2028, but it potentially might be. And the good news is there's a new organization applying to be the organization that oversees boxing. Okay? So when you hear that it hasn't been permanently eliminated from Olympic competition. Now let's talk about the Pan Am Games. I just did that twice because I was muted. Wow. Pan American Games. Now, they are commonly known as the Pan Am Games. It's a multi-sport event in the Americas, featuring summer sports in which thousands of athletes participate in a variety of competitions. The competition is held among athletes from nations of the Americas every 4 years in the year before the Summer Olympic Games. So the last Pan American Games was last summer, 2023. It is the second oldest continental games in the world. The only Winter Pan American Games were held in 1990. And in 2021, the Junior Pan American Games were held for the first time, specifically for young athletes. The Pan American Sports Organization, PASO, is the governing body of the Pan American Games, whose structure and actions are defined by the Olympic Charter. Now, a little history of the Pan American Games. The idea of holding a Pan American Games was first raised at the 1932 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, California, where Latin American representatives of the International Olympic Committee suggested that a competition among all the countries in the Americas should be created. And during the Pan American Exposition at Dallas, Texas in 1937, a limited sports program was held. These included athletics, boxing, and wrestling, among other sports. And the program was considered a success, and a meeting of Olympic officials from the Americas was held. And the first Pan American Sports Congress held in Buenos Aires in 1940. The participants decided that the first games should be held in Buenos Aires in 1942. Now, the first games were postponed because of World War II. But a second Pan American Sports Congress in London during the 1948 Summer Olympics recommended Buenos Aires as the choice of the host city for the inaugural games, which were held in 1951. The games began on February 25th, 1951. And the Pan American Games have been held every 4 years since that first event in 1951. Now let's talk about the Commonwealth Games, another big time amateur competition. Then we're going to start talking about some profiles. Okay, the Commonwealth Games. Just some pictures of amateur athletes before we get to the profiles. Yeah, everybody get over there and subscribe to Coach. Okay. All right, the Commonwealth Games. Commonwealth Games. There we go. Now, the Commonwealth Games had a few different names in their history. Initially, they were known as the British Empire Games, but by 1954, the word Commonwealth had been added, and by 1970, they had come to be called the British Commonwealth Games. And finally, for the 1978 competition, the word British was dropped, resulting in the current name, the Commonwealth Games, as they are still known today. Now, since 1974, The games have also been known as the friendly games, reflecting the aim to promote friendship between the competing nations. Okay? Now, the Commonwealth is a political alliance. Although it's not the case for every country involved in the games, generally speaking, what they have in common is that their territories, which used to be part of the British Empire. Okay? Now let's look at a history of the Commonwealth Games. In August 1930, the first event took place in Ontario, Canada. Now you would think Canada would be part of the Pan American Games, right? You know, being like the proximity they are to the United States, Mexico. But Canada is part of the Commonwealth Games, yeah. Now 11 countries took place in that first event. The first person to win a gold medal in the Commonwealth Games was Gordon Smallcombe, a triple jumper from Canada. Now in February 1938, more than 40,000 people came to watch the games in Sydney, Australia. This would be the last games until 1950 due to World War II. Now the Miracle Mile was run during the Commonwealth Games in 1954 in Vancouver, Canada. Roger Bannister of England and John Landy of Australia ran the mile in under 4 minutes. This was the first time ever that feat had been accomplished. First mile in under 4 minutes, 1954. Them two guys was booking. They was rolling, man. In 1994, athletes with a disability began to be included in the Commonwealth Games. In 1998, the Commonwealth Games were held in an Asian country for the first time, taking place in Malaysia. And a new record was set for countries that took part in the Games that year. 70 in all, including 5,000 athletes competing. In 2018, there were an equal number of events for men and women for the first time in the Games history. And the last Commonwealth Games took place in 2022 because they are 2 years before the Olympics. You know, the Pan American Games is 1 year, then we come to the Olympics. And they were held in Birmingham, England. And the next Commonwealth Games, of course, will take place in 2026. They will be in Australia. Okay? Tim Layton. What's up, Tim? Tim Layton, hashtag JBT in the building. Everybody, Coach Thomas Morris now has a channel, Real Prison Talk. The link is in the chat. I meant to pin it, but it's got so far up there. Wow. But it's in there. Okay? Everybody go subscribe to that. Hit that link and come on back over here. Okay? That's all you got to do. Wait a minute. Bear with me for one moment, please. Sorry. Yeah, there it is. There's the link right there. Hit that link. Subscribe to Real Prison Talk with Tommy. And then come back and listen to Amateur Boxing with Cass. We're going to do some profiles now of some standout amateur boxers, okay? And the first is going to be a guy from Cuba. Not me. I don't know why this thing keeps showing me. Felix Savon. That's Felix. Now there were three. Well, first, be it Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, or Anthony Joshua, the big names trace their roots to the grueling amateur ranks that test the best. With the Olympic Games being the holy grail for amateur fighters, there have been many who have stepped up to the task to establish themselves as the best in the boxing world. So let's take a look at a few amateur standouts, both men and women. First is Felix Savon. He's one of 3 boxers that's won 3 Olympic gold medals. Felix Teofilo Stevenson, both from Cuba. And then we got Laszlo Papp from Hungary. Only three people ever that won three gold medals at the Olympic level. Okay, we're going to address Felix first. Okay. Yeah, we got a couple of new channels, though. We got Real Prison Talk with Tommy. That's Coach Thomas Voices. And we got Angry White Men, D1 and William Old School to Rent. And that's coming up Friday at 7 o'clock. They are going live. Okay. Tread lightly in there. I'm warning you now. Those two guys go from 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds. It don't take much for either one of them, man. So be careful. Be careful in there with Old School and D1. Be very careful. And me and Old School got a show coming, not a regular show, just a cast sports show where we're going to do a profile on Max Baer. Because Old School just had so much information on Max Baer. We were talking the other day, and he was telling me he could give it to me to do, but I said no. You know, he's got to come up and help me do that because he just got a wealth of information on Max Baer, man. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to try to work around his work because, you know, work comes first, and get him up here one day, and we're going to do that. Yeah. Yeah, Tampa, his first video is up too, right, Tim? Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to see it as soon as I get off of here. Yeah. So the JBT is growing rapidly, man. And the thing, like I was saying, the thing about the JBT is our versatility, man. You know, we don't just sit here and talk boxing. You know, just basic boxing, what's happening about fight to fight. We got all kinds of stuff, man. We got history, fashion. Now we got prison talk with Coach. We got the Angry White Men, and who knows what's going to happen in there, man. I guarantee you, it won't be anything else you see anywhere else. You don't know what's going to happen with them two. Then we got a Hangout, the Voice of the Streets, the Mighty Rise podcast. We got the baddest man that ever broke down a fight, Casual's Corner with Ed McQueen. BN Boxing News. He usually comes on after fights, does a breakdown of the fight. So the JBT is good. Oh, BVO Boxing TV. He calls fights. I was over there Saturday with him. He dropped the link, wanted me to come up on the panel. But I said, no, you ain't going to put me in that trick bag. Because remember, I blocked him. He might have had Get Back in mind. I said, no, I ain't coming up there. So I stayed in the chat. But all jokes aside, being BVO TV, he's the latest member of the JBT Contact Creators. But now it's Coach Thomas Morris. But yeah, some more fire channels added to this lineup, man. Just great stuff. The JBT is growing. But Felix Savon, that's him on the screen. We're going to talk about some standout amateur boxers now. That's Felix Savon right there on the screen. And like I was saying, Felix, he's considered to be the cradle. Cuba is considered to be the cradle of boxing, right? And one of the most successful amateur boxers of all time, Felix Savon, came from Cuba, right? He was born in Guantanamo in 1980. He was inspired by Cuban great Teofilo Stevenson, who's coming up next. And he was inspired by Teofilo Stevenson into taking up boxing. He's a puncher, right? And he craved knockout wins on the amateur circuit. Felix wasn't the one to lay back and run down the clock after pocketing enough reports to win the fight. No, Felix still brought that pressure to you. It didn't matter how far he was ahead. Felix was coming after you. Now, while this strategy ran him into trouble at times, he soon made a name for himself as one of the most feared fighters in the heavyweight division. And Felix's career lasted about 20 years. He won 6 amateur world championships. That's a record, matched only by Murray Calm, who's also on this list. And Felix is among the only 3 boxers who have managed the triple Olympic crown with 3 gold medals. He won the gold in 1992, 1996, and the 2000 games. Back to back to back. Felix did. Man, I'm gonna switch books. I ran out of paper. Had to start my notes over in a whole nother book. Okay. Yeah, back to back to back. And he ran through the competition. And he won all three of those gold medals in dominant fashion. Felix Savon, one of only three men to win gold medals, 3 gold medals at the Olympics. And you heard about that Cuban boxing system. 2 of them came from Cuba. Here's the other one. Teofilo Stevenson. Bad man there, Teofilo. Yeah. Also a heavyweight. Teofilo Stevenson. Now, he was born into abject poverty to an immigrant father and a native mother, right? Teofilo's rise to prominence is nothing less than inspiring. The Cuban great competed for 20 years, from 1966 to 1986. And he was a huge figure in his home country of Cuba during his prime, right? His dominance went to an extent that the BBC in one of their reports described him as Cuba's greatest fighter. That's quite an honor to be called Cuba's greatest fighter, because some great ones came out of there, man. Yes. And the BBC also described Stevenson as its most famous figure after Fidel Castro. That's huge. And he was, yeah. That's Father Teofilo. I know a whole lot about Teofilo's history. I really followed him and read about it, yeah. I did a profile on him last year. I might have to do him again too, yeah. I'm going to do him again soon. That was way last year. Fascinating career, Teofilo Stevenson. So that'll be coming up soon on the Friday profile, Teofilo. But anyway, Teofilo won 3 straight heavyweight championships and 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals. 1972, 1976, and 1980 games. Just like his countryman Felix Savon, back to back to back. Okay? And it was Teofilo's love for the Cuban Revolution that pushed him to greatness. Okay? In the 1970s, boxing promoters in the United States offered Teofilo Stevenson $5 million to turn professional and fight the world heavyweight champion, Muhammad Ali. Now, at that time, $5 million in the 70s is equivalent to $40 million nowadays in 2024. But Teofilo turned it down, right? And also at that time of the offer to fight Ali, professional boxing was illegal in Cuba. It had been outlawed by the Cuban government for decades at that point, right? Yeah, it was illegal, outlawed by the government. Now, in 1987, Teofilo Stevenson was awarded the Olympic Order, which is the highest award given by the International Olympic Committee, and is given to people who have made exceptional contributions to the Olympic movement. Yeah, we got a profile coming up on Teofilo, probably in about 2 weeks, because I got the next couple planned. Yeah. Friday is the 7th, 14th. June 21st will be the profile on Teofilo Stevenson. Yeah, I really follows him, man. That's amazing. Amazing career. Never turned professional. Now, in the later 70s, if he had turned professional, I think he would have beat Ali. Now, earlier 70s, I don't know. Probably Ali, but if he had turned professional from like 77 to like 80 around in there, that's when Teofilo was really going strong. I think he would have beat Ali around that time, yeah. Because Leon Spinks beat him, Holmes beat him, Berbick beat him. And Teofilo was way better than Leon Spinks and Trevor Berbick, right? Him and Holmes would have been a good fight too, but yeah, I would have gave it. Teofilo versus Ali in the late 70s, I would have to go with Teofilo. Sorry, Ali. Just keeping it 100. Okay. But Teofilo Stevenson, great boxer and great man. Okay. Next is Zhu Shiming. Now Z-O-U gotta be Zhu, because L-O-U is Lou, right? So wouldn't Z-O-U be Zhu? So I've got to be saying that right. Zhu Shiming. Could be Zo. But L-O-U would then be Lo, wouldn't it? So L-O-U is Lou, Z-O-U is Zhu. Right? Gotta be. What you think, Tim Lacy? The first man's first name got to be Zoo, right? Z-O-U. What happened? Bear with me for a second. There we go. Isn't that Zoo? Z-O-U? Okay. But Zoo Shimming is the next one. That's him on the left there. Zoo Shimming. Okay. Now, regarded as the one who put Chinese on the world boxing map, Zhu Shimi is a native legend in his home country of China. From winning the nation's first world title in 2005, that's the amateurs now, to their first Olympic gold medal in boxing at their home games in Beijing in 2008. Wasn't that something? China won their first gold medal in 2008 in Beijing. Now, boxing hadn't been going on that long at that point. I think like a little over 5 years. I think became popular in China around 2000. Yeah. Now, Shimming has been a path breaker for Chinese boxing. Okay? Having begun his boxing career as a 14-year-old in the Guizhou province of China, the young Zhu Shimi, he had to keep his boxing ambitions hidden from his family. He said, "I dared not tell my parents when I began to learn boxing when I was 14 or 15 years old." You know, he told this to the Shine newspaper in Shanghai. He said, "My mother still objected to me making it a career, even when I was selected for the provincial team in Guizhou, right? Just like the national team. His mother still objected. He said, not until I was to represent China in the Olympics for the first time did my mother change her attitude." Okay. Yeah, when he made the Olympic team, his mother came around because, you know, that could lead to endorsements and all kinds of stuff, you know. And he did get the gold medal too. Yeah. Now, he went on to win his first Olympic medal at Athens in 2004. Wait a minute. Yeah, he didn't get a gold that year, though, because the first gold was 2008. And he later pocketed his first world title in the light flyweight division. That was in 2005. Now, the following years saw him dominate his weight class as titles at the continental and international stage barely eluded him. Now, his second world title came in 2007. And then, like I was saying, at the 2008 Beijing Olympics, that was the first medal ever won by Chinese at their own Olympics in 2008 in Beijing. Okay. And that was the country's 50th gold medal overall and first in boxing. And that was the final day of the Olympics. Yep. And in 2011, he won another world championship, amateur world championship. In 2012, he won another Olympic gold medal. So ended up with 2 gold medals, right? And then he turned pro after that. And he also had an amazing pro career. He won the WBO lightweight title in 2014. And he kept that for 3 years until 2017. But his career was cut short because of injuries. Didn't have a long career. But he kept the WBO lightweight championship for 3 years, from 2014 to 2017. Yeah. Then next is this Indian lady, MC Mary Kom. Mary Kom is next on the list of standout amateur boxers on CAT Sports today. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. MC Mary Kom. Now, undoubtedly, the most decorated boxer in the world, Indian legend MC Mary Kom. She has not only been a trailblazer for the sport in India, but has also been one of the reasons behind the rise of Indian women's boxing. Okay? Now, she was born to tenant farmers in the rural Manipur region. She had to overcome the objections from her family and the villagers when she moved to Imphal to follow her dream of being a boxer. Her parents and the villagers she came from was against it. They probably thought women shouldn't be boxers. But she took up boxing. She was persuaded by a local boxing coach. And she worked her way all the way up to becoming a champion. Right? And she won a medal at all 8 Amateur Boxing Association World Boxing Championships since its inception in 2001. 6 golds, a silver, and a bronze. And she rose to number 1 in the world rankings for a flyweight in 2012. And she was a part of the inaugural Women's Olympics at London in 2012, right? She won a bronze medal that year. And she was beaten by Nicola Adams, the eventual champion. Yeah. MC Mary Khan, gold medalist. Next is Katie Taylor. There's Katie. Yep. Katie Taylor had a decorated amateur career. We're talking about some standout amateur boxers. Katie Taylor. There she is on the screen. Okay, bear with me for 1 second. Okay, now Katie Taylor. You can make an argument that Katie Taylor is the best European boxer to ever step in the ring, men or women, right? She has been dominant in boxing in a way very few people have, men or women. Okay, KT. She was a lightweight, and she banked on her attacking style. From Ireland, she is blessed with quick hands and deceptive movements. And those things often help her catch her challenges off guard. And she came from a boxing family. Her father was a former Irish champion and her mother a referee. Yeah. So it was no surprise that Katie picked up the gloves at a very early age. Okay. And she was trained by her father. And it took some time for her to establish herself at the international stage. But once she got established, there was no looking back. Now, her first significant title came at the 2005 European Championships, where she won the gold in the lightweight division. A year later, she was a world champion. And she went on to hold on to her world title until 2014, okay? However, her crowning achievement came at the London 2012 Olympics. That's when women was included in the Olympic boxing for the first time. And Katie got the gold medal in the lightweight division, right? But she came back in 2016 for the Olympic Games in Rio. She didn't get past the quarterfinals, didn't medal that year. And shortly after Rio, she turned pro. Now, her professional career has also been epic. Katie Taylor, yeah. Yeah, okay, so I got it right. Yeah, thank you. Katie's professional career has also been epic. Okay. She's still currently active. Currently 23 wins, 1 loss, including 6 knockouts. And Katie is one of only 5 fighters to be undisputed in 2 weight classes during the 4-belt era. Only 5 of them, right? There's Clarissa Shields. The GOAT did it first, then Bud, then Katie Taylor, Monster. Remember, Katie Taylor and Monster did it a month apart last year. Remember, Katie got her second four belt undisputed in November, and Monster got his in December. And then what? Hadn't been that long. Was it last month? Usyk. So 5 of them. Katie is only 1 of 5. Katie Taylor, KT. And you could make an argument that she's the best boxer to ever come out of Europe. A strong argument, man or woman. There's a bunch of them over there, but KT is up there. Top 5, I would say. Oh, that's wrong. Next is Sofia Ochigaba. Sofia Ochigaba. There she is on the left. Okay, that's one of those Russian women there. Yeah. Now, if Cuba has dominated men's amateur boxing, then Russia has led the charge among women. Okay, no doubt. I ain't even gonna say what I was thinking. But them Russian women, man. Whew. PED down. PED down from top to bottom. And with as many as 24 gold medals at the World Championships ever since its inception in 2001, the Russian boxers have ruled in the international stage, right? No doubt. And helping Russia maintain the supremacy has been 2-time world champion Sofia Ochigaba. Now, she started with kickboxing, and she was a national kickboxing champion in Russia in 2001. But the lack of a proper system over there for kickboxing saw her switch to boxing. And she soon won her first world championship. She went gold in the 2005 light bantamweight division. 2 years later, she jumped weight classes and she won her second world title. This time she was in the bantamweight division. Yeah, first time it was light bantamweight, then 2 years later, she went up to bantamweight, won another gold medal there. And she got a gold medal at the first time in 2012, also when the women were included in Olympic boxing in London. Okay? Won her first gold medal. She had to go up to lightweight because bantamweight wasn't included. Let me check something. Yeah, I thought Katie Taylor got lightweight, but no, evidently she didn't. Katie was, there was no bantamweight. It didn't even say what division Katie was in, but it couldn't have been lightweight because Sofia got lightweight. Anyway, they both went gold in that Olympics. That was the first time women were included. Okay. Yeah, Sofia went gold that year. And she got silver. Guess who she fought in the gold medal match? She fought Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor did win the gold at lightweight. Sofia got silver. Katie was a little bit too much for her. Okay, yeah, I was wondering about that. It says she won gold at lightweight, but she got silver. She went up against Katie Taylor in that Olympics. That was the first one where women were included. So her and Katie was in it. There's Katie. Katie got the gold and she beat this lady, Sofia, on the left. Who got the silver? Okay, that's how that went. Okay, so next is Vasyl Lomachenko. There's Loma, a young Loma. You know, you're talking about amateur standout. I had to put Lomachenko in there. Got to give credit where credit is due. Great amateur. I mean, he was older, but hey, he still accomplished what he accomplished, okay? It don't have on the record books where he was 26 with an asterisk no. There was a great amateur stand-up. Vasyl Lomachenko is among the few who have successfully negotiated 2 weight divisions in his amateur career, okay? He won the Olympic and the world titles in the featherweight division in 2008 and 2009. Then he moved up to the lightweight division and took home the world Olympic crowns. In 2011, he won the world championship at lightweight. 2012, he won the gold medal at lightweight. Okay? Then he finished his extensive amateur career with impressive record of 396 wins, just one loss. And he lost to Albert Selamode, and he avenged that twice. He came back and beat Albert twice. Incredible. Almost 400 fights, 397 fights, just one loss. Incredible. Now, Lomachenko is a Ukrainian fighter, and he's known for his exceptional hand speed, timing, accuracy, creativity, athleticism, defense, and footwork. Okay? That's what Lomachenko is known for. Now, he was coached by his father, Anatoly Lomachenko, from a young age. Now, early in his life, his father put Lomachenko's boxing on hold until he attended traditional Ukrainian dance classes. Yeah, well-known story about Lomachenko. Ballet. Okay, it's a fancy name for ballet. Now, Lomachenko is currently still an active professional boxer, right? And he's had a solid professional career. You know, not as impressive as his amateur career, but a solid professional career. He's a 3-division world champion, featherweight, junior lightweight, and lightweight, with a current record of 18 wins, 3 losses, 12 knockouts. And he's currently the reigning IBF lightweight champion, Vasyl Lomachenko. Yep, currently the reigning IBF lightweight champion, Loma is. Okay, next we're coming to the end of the profile. Oh man, Laszlo Papp. Oh, there he is, Laszlo Papp. He's the third one. You know, we had the 2 Cuban guys, Felix Savon and Teofilo Stevenson, won 3 gold medals in the Olympics. It was 3 of them. Laszlo Papp of Hungary is the other one. He was the first one to do it, to win 3 gold medals in Olympic history. Only 3 of them has ever done it. And Laszlo Papp is the first one. That's him on the left there. He was the first one to do it of Hungary. Okay? Now, Laszlo Papp is one of only 3 boxers to win 3 Olympic gold medals. Like I've said, other 2 were Cubans, Teofilo Stevenson and Felix Savon. Papp of Budapest, Hungary, was the first to accomplish this feat, 1948, 1952, and 1956. And all 3 did it back to back to back. Yep. Stevenson was 72, 76, and 80. And Savon was 92, 96, and 2000. Okay. Now, Papp was a hard-hitting southpaw, and he campaigned at junior middleweight, and light heavyweight during his amateur career. And as an amateur, Papp won the European middleweight championship in 1949 and the European light middleweight championship in 1951. In 1957, at the age of 31, he received permission from the Hungarian government to fight professionally. So he had to get permission from the government in those communist countries. Yeah. And he became the first boxer from a communist country to turn professional. Now, see, I'm learning too. Yeah, Laszlo Papp. Now, although in 1962, Papp became the professional middleweight champion of Europe, the Hungarian government refused to allow him to challenge for the world championship. I wonder why. That's crazy, isn't it? The government wouldn't let him fight for the world championship. I don't understand that. But in 1989, the WBO made Papp an honorary world champion. because they saw how great this man was, and his country wouldn't let him fight for the championship. So the WBO made him an honorary champion. Okay. Now, although he never got the opportunity to compete for a world championship, Laszlo Papp finished his professional career undefeated, 27 wins, no losses, 2 draws, and 15 knockouts. Never beat. It's a shame his country wouldn't let that man fight for a world championship. That's just crazy, man. Now I got a couple other notable ones. Okay, that's come on. Okay, that's Juan Hernandez Sierra. Other notable former world boxing champions in the amateurs include Cuban stars. Both of these are Cuban stars too. Told you about that Cuban amateur boxing system. Ain't no joke, man. Best in the world. Cuban stars Juan Hernandez Sierra and Julio Cesar La Cruz. The Sierra right there. Sierra won 4 world titles in the welterweight division, along with his 2 silver medals at the Olympics in 1992 and 1996. And the other one, that's La Cruz. There's La Cruz. La Cruz, meanwhile, is the undisputed light heavyweight champion, having held on to the world title 2011 to 19, 8 years. Amateur, he held on to the amateur light heavyweight world title for 8 years, 2011 to 2019. He also won Olympic gold in Rio in 2016. So 2016, he was the light heavyweight amateur world champion, and he won the gold medal in Rio. There you have it. Little look at amateur boxing. Now tomorrow will be power punching. Okay? Look at power punching, look at some devastating knockouts, and look at some of the top power guys of all time. Might have to include a current boxer on that one. You know what I'm talking about. That monster from Baltimore that fights this weekend. Like I had Lomachenko on this. Sometimes I talk about, I usually talk about former fighters, but sometimes I talk about a category where an active fighter stands out in it that I got to include them. Like when I did switch hitters, I had to include Bud Crawford in it. Today, talking about amateurs, I had to include Loma. So when I talk about power punches tomorrow, I might have to include the face of boxing in it. We'll see. But that show is brought to you by Jay Hardcore tomorrow. Power punching. And then Thursday. Yeah, my new series. Everybody didn't hear about that. I'm starting a new series this week. It's going to be on history of boxing in every state in the United States. And I'm going to do it every Thursday. This week is Alabama. And Alabama has some outstanding boxers came out of that state, man. There's some guy named Joe Louis, some guy named Evander Holyfield, some guy named Deontay Wilder. All 3 of them came from Alabama. And we're going to be talking about Alabama this weekend. Well, I mean Friday, not this weekend. Friday. Okay? And don't forget, we got all these new shows. We got Angry White Men. Go subscribe to them. They start on Friday at 7 p.m. Coach Thomas Morris has kicked off his channel. Go subscribe to him. Okay? His link is in here. Not too far up. Hit the link, go subscribe to him. And the raffle, July 13th, for a 55-inch TV. Send $10 to this Cash App. I can't get the commercial to play. It says the wrong size or something, but I still can talk. Send $10 to this Cash App right here. And $10 for a 55-inch TV. You can't beat that. Gotta be a winner. Somebody's gonna win it. Could be you. Right? Watch that big August 3rd card in style. Bud Crawford and Virgil and Tim Zoo has been postponed or something, right? I don't know. I think Virgil is still on it though. I'm not sure. But yeah, send $10 to that Cash App and get in on the big 55-inch color TV. Okay? Going to be a winner. Who knows? Somebody's going to get it. And then Friday, we're talking about John Henry Lewis. Went blind in one eye. He had his eye injury cut his career short. 8 years, the man had over 100 fights. He averaged 14 fights per year. Incredible, man. 14 fights per year. He had more fights in 3 years than the average fighter had in an entire career nowadays. Mm-hmm. And him and Joe Louis were close personal friends. Joe Louis gave him a fight at the end of his career so he could go out with a nice bag. Because Joe Louis was the cash cow. You know, everybody wanted the Joe Louis fight. Like they tried to get the Tank fight. Yeah, Joe Louis was that man around that time. And he gave his friend a fight so he could make a nice bag. And due to his eye injury, Joe Louis got him out of there in the first round so he wouldn't hurt him too bad. Now that's a good friend. Yeah. Got him a nice bag and ended the fight quick so he wouldn't have to take too much punishment. But we were talking about him Friday, John Henry Lewis. Okay. Yeah, and those JBT panel discussions have been a smashing success, those shows. One of my best days, Monday and Friday. The JBT panel discussion and the profile are my best 2 days of the week. Maybe I should have 2 JBT panel discussions and 3 profiles. Do the JBT panel discussion Tuesday and Monday and Wednesday, and the profiles Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. No. But we got to do the series on the states. History of boxing in every state. That should be interesting. And I found out, yeah, Alabama's first. The University of Alabama has a boxing club. I found that out. We're going to talk about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alabama is not a boxing state, but yeah. Had some 3 knockout artists. We're going to talk about knockouts tomorrow. They all 3 might be on the list. Evander Holyfield was okay. I was thinking Tyson. Tyson ain't no Alabama. But Joe Louis, Evander Holyfield, and Deontay Wilder, all from Alabama, among others. Among others from Alabama. Yeah. And that's tomorrow, Wednesday. Brought to you by Jay Hardcore. You know, Wednesday is always, and I need some shows too. Could be a profile you want to see. That'll give me another day to do a profile on Wednesday. Or any kind of historical show. I hope everybody enjoyed the amateur boxing today. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's important because I've heard people running around talking about boxing is going to be dropped from the Olympics, but that is not a fact. Okay? The International Boxing Association, the International Olympic Committee dropped recognition of them, and they were the body that governed boxing in the Olympics, the IBA. So now they don't have an organization in place over boxing in the Olympics. So right now, it's not on the program for 2028, but the International Olympic Committee has set a deadline of early 2025 to get another organization in place. So boxing will be included in 2028. And the good news is there is an organization applying for that position, World Boxing. So we very well could have boxing in the Olympics in 2028. And even if they don't get an organization in place and don't have boxing in 2028, it could return in 2032 because they very well could have an organization in place to oversee boxing in the Olympics by 2032. It would have to be in place by early 2029, the year after the next Olympics. So, no, boxing has not permanently been dropped from the Olympics. No. Okay? So when you hear people say that, that's just wrong. It's not true. Anything you hear on Cash Sports has been researched and verified. You can take it to the bank. Boxing has not permanently been dropped from the Olympics. No. I've heard people say that. That's flat out wrong. Now, it might not be in the 2028 Olympics, and it might be, but it could return in 2032. Okay? All they need to do for 2028 is get another organization to govern boxing in the Olympics by early 2025. And there is an organization called World Boxing that's applying for that position as we speak. So there could be boxing in 2028. It has not been dropped from the Olympics. You hear somebody say that, send them to Cash Sports and I'll explain it to them. But it has not been. And again, even if they don't have boxing in 2028, that still doesn't mean it's been permanently dropped, because it could have an organization in place and it could return in 2032. Okay, that's the true story. Boxing in the Olympics right now. Why would they drop a popular sport like boxing permanently? Why would they? They just don't have an organization in place to oversee it right now. Because the IOC oversees the entire Olympics. Then each sport has their own body over it. Boxing was the International Boxing Association. But last year, the IOC stopped recognizing them as that organization. And so they need to get another one in place. And there's one, World Boxing, applying for that position. So we could have boxing in 2028. We just have to wait and see. Okay? That's the true story of it. I've researched it. And all that I just told you, I've seen in black and white. Not nothing I made up. I heard somebody else say. I've seen it in black and white myself. From the International Olympic Committee. They would know. They're in charge of the Olympics. All the sports, not just boxing. The entire Olympics. International Olympic Committee. I guess that would be a very reliable source to get information from about the Olympics, wouldn't it? The IOC. Not somebody on YouTube. Not some content creator on YouTube. I went to the IOC. Okay? Information. That's where I got my information from. I'll take their word over some content creator on YouTube. 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. Okay, but yeah, don't forget Coach Tommy's new show. We got Angry White Men on Friday at 7 o'clock. William Old School of Rant, D1. And remember, be careful in there. Because those guys get cranked up quick, fast, in a hurry. Devin Haney fanboys, be careful. I'm warning you. Don't go in there any kind of way with that nonsense about catch weights and all that kind of stuff. You're going to get blown away. You might get blocked. You think I'm fast? Wait till you see William Old School of Rant in action. Okay? I was just warning you. I'm going to be careful in there. They might block me. Who knows? Them guys don't play. Get them wrong. I'm going to sit in the chat and be quiet. But yeah, hit this link and subscribe to Coach Tommy. New show. We was just talking about that on the panel yesterday. And he got his first video out. I'm going to check that out when I finish it. I think it'll be good. The guy knows what he's talking about, what he went through. Now he's a successful personal trainer. Trained Ronnie Lott, the Hall of Famer, remember? I think it was after his football career, yeah. So, oh Lord. Yeah, hit that link, go over there, subscribe. Real Prison Talk with Tommy. I think it's going to be a good addition to the JBT. We got 15 more minutes, and then Just Do Boxing is coming on today. I'm on my phone. Sorry about all this noise. Phones pick up everything. It's crazy. Let's see what The Voice, give you a preview of what The Voice doing today. Just do boxing. Oh, shoot. Come on, Real Prison Talk with Coach Tommy right now. Big fight weekend. 3 cards this weekend. 2 big ones. Well, yeah, all championship fights. Subriel Matias is putting his 140. What does Subriel have? The IBF on the line against Liam Perreault, the face of boxing. Gervonta Davis is putting his WBA lightweight 135 on the line against Frank Martin. And Chris Billiam Smith. I know his last name is Billiam Smith. He's putting his cruiserweight title on the line from London on Saturday also. So a big weekend for us boxing fans this weekend. And then next week we got Friday night again. Rafael Espinoza putting his 126 title on the line. Yeah. I really thought that Robeisy was going to get that rematch, being he was the champion and lost his belt to Espinoza, but apparently not. Espinoza is fighting somebody else next week. Because it was a very good fight between him and Robeisy. Went the distance. I think it was a split decision. I really thought we were going to get a rematch out of that, but nope. Espinoza is fighting somebody else. I think Robeisy deserved the rematch because he was the champion, put his belt up. But no. Oh, Lord have mercy. Excuse me. Oh, this guy. Isn't that crazy? Man, I was all the way down to 5%. 4%. That would have been a disaster. For the phone to die in the middle of the show. But I got the charger right there. But yeah, I would have liked to seen a rematch for Robeisy, but he didn't get it. I don't know who Espinoza's fighting, but it's not Robeisy. But that's how it goes sometimes. Of course, I got Tank this weekend. Late stoppage. Well, don't have to be late. Between 6 and 9, 6 and 10. That's a wide range, ain't it? But yeah, anywhere after 6, I think he'll get him up out of there. Yeah. Frank, come out there with that autumn performance. It might be earlier than that. But like Coach Calvin always say, we haven't even seen nowhere near the best of Tank yet. Maybe Frank, nobody's made him dig down that deep and pull it out yet. Maybe Frank will. Oh, man. Just Do says channel birthday. Oh, man, yeah. Okay. Channel birthday for Just Do Boxing today. We got to get over and see what that's all about today, okay? Yeah. But I got anywhere after 6. Gervonta Tank Davis ending that fight. Of course, Subriel will stop Liam Perreault. Nobody can take that pounding. He will let Perreault pound on him for a couple rounds. Those left hands he was taking from Ergashev, I've seen Ergashev drop people with those things, and Subriel just took him for like 3 rounds. Just hit the man so hard, what did he say, his feet was hurting or something like that. That's power. His legs or something, hitting him in the head and his legs is hurting. Just like Tank. Hector sitting on the stool saying he was blind. That's different type power there, man. Nobody can stand up under that for no 12 rounds. So Frank will go. The talent level will be, there's levels to this. And as we get into the middle rounds, we will start seeing a difference in talent level. I think, and speaking of levels, I think Bruce Choo Choo is ready to step up for a title fight. Any of those guys at 126. I know we got Espinoza, who's fighting Friday, and Nick Ball, who just won the title from Raymond Ford, and who's the other one? Is Ray Vargas at 126? And I don't know who the fourth one is. Maybe one is vacant. But I got Choo Choo over any of those guys, man. Yeah. I got Choo Choo over any of them. I would pick him. Not over Monster yet, though. Need a little more seasoning. If he's going to go over there to Japan and jump in there against Monster, he's not ready for that yet. It'd be a good fight, though. Monster not just going to run through him, but he will beat him. Probably stop him. Monster got that different power, too, man. That's still hurting that sequence he finished Cool Boy, man. What was it? A stab, jab, and then I don't know, it was a left hook and a right cross. I don't know the order. I know the stab jab was first. I don't know if it was the left hook or the right cross was next, but those two punches, man, and just folded Cool Boy. And he got up. I knew it was over. But to his credit, Cool Boy got up and stopped it. It was getting ready to get real ugly, man. Real ugly. So yeah. Right now, Choo Choo go over there to Japan. I don't see him doing too much better. To be serious about it, I don't. You know, that's just what I think about it right now. But a few more fights from now, like 2. But Monster was there, man. So what does that mean? And like Choo Choo said after the fight, he came to see me because as soon as Choo Choo's fight ended, Monster got up and left, remember? So yeah. So what is the significance of that? Monster came to see Choo Choo. Is it in the works? Is it in the works? I don't see anything else for Monster at 122. You know what I mean? No. What else is for him at 122? Not a challenge. And Monster strikes me as the type of fighter who would like a challenge, man. You know? Yeah, he don't want to just be going up against guys he knows he's going to start. He seems like the type that wants the challenge, man. And you got this young kid at 126 barking. To me, Monster seems like the type going to go up there and challenge him, give him his chance. That's just how Monster strikes me, man. Is that kind of guy. You ain't going to bark at him but so much. And Choo Choo was starting to say his name. And where was Monster at Saturday? Sitting in the audience watching Choo Choo. So, yeah. Lonnie Lee says, he says Tank in the 6. Yeah, I say 6 on anything past 6, Lonnie. Maybe in the 6. But after 6. Fender Bender in the building. There's Fender Bender. Wow. Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa are tough featherweight. Yes, they are Fender Bender. Brandon Figueroa, that's the one I was missing. Thank you, Fender Bender. Yeah, Brandon Figueroa, right. He's the other. I couldn't think of the fourth one. Nick Ball is definitely tough, man. He's small, and he only knows one way, come forward. That's all. Come forward. He's that attitude, like a pit bull. Like, back me up if you can. Back me up if you can, because I'm coming. Yeah. And he got the job done. He was a part of that card when they shut Eddie out. Eddie got shut out. Metro. Yeah. So 126 is turned into an interesting division too. But I like 140 and 154. That's where the fire is at, man. 140 and 154. What's this deal with Virgil and Tim Tszyu? I was hearing something about that fight was off. Is it off? I heard it was. Tim was still, those injuries he received in that Honduras situation was Serious. I was wondering how he was fighting that fast anyway. Because he took, that thing was serious. That cut up there on his head, man, his whole face was red. That was a bloodbath. So I didn't think he would be able to fight in August. I was really wondering about that. Because when was the fight? May, June, July, August? 3 months. And 2, because it's like the first couple of days of August. So you can't even count August. June, July. So that was kind of a fast turnaround for the type of injuries. Being hurt bad like that. You know what I mean? Laywood. Yeah. Robeisy. That's why I was wondering, Fender Bender. Espinosa. I thought him and Robeisy was going to have a rematch, but Espinosa's fighting somebody else next Friday. And he took Robeisy's belt, so I really thought it was going to be a rematch, but nope. Robeisy can still make it. Yeah. And Laywood. Lay was talking about going to 30. 130. But he could still make 126, yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. The monster. Just the fact he was there watching that fight, man, makes you wonder, right? And he was there to watch Shushu because he left. The monster ain't the type you can just keep calling and bark at. He's gonna take your challenge. He's not one of these kind of guys just gonna walk around and somebody calling him out and everything and ignore it. No, Monster's old school in that mentality. You're not going to keep calling his name, barking at him, and he's going to ignore you. No. Not the Monster. Robeisy. Maybe having trouble. Okay. That could be what it is, Fender Bender. Yeah. That could be what it is. He might be moving up. Yeah. I don't know who Espinosa is fighting, but it's somebody. Next Friday night fights. Yeah. But we're in great shape as boxing fans. Today is Tuesday. We still got a couple of days. No Pro Box Week, unfortunately. But 3 cards Saturday. The big one. I guess the final press conference is Thursday, right? And then the weigh-in, and that's it. David Benavidez, too. Don't forget. And what is the guy named? Wozniak, something like that. I'm the king of butchering names. But that guy is pretty good, pretty tough customer, man. Eastern European. So he's skillful, tough, veteran. David is not jumping up there taking no tune-up. He's jumping up and getting up in there against a very, very skilled fighter, man. Yeah. So you would expect that out of David, though, A guy like David, he's not gonna fool around with no tune-up. He said he's going after the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev. And that's Saturday, man, in Las Vegas, Nevada. Jay Hardcore Sr. is leaving tomorrow for the fights. Yeah, they're gonna be there. And don't forget now, $10 for a 55-inch color TV. Send your $10 in. Somebody's going to win it. Where do you pay $10 for a 55-inch color TV? $10 per chance. Now, you don't have to settle for one chance. Now, make sure if you win it, you be there waiting on your TV because sometimes, I told you, I got 2 55 inches, and when they delivered one of them, they put it right on the front step. I'm pulling up, coming up, and there's a big box sitting on the front step. And I'm like, what is that? It was my TV, man. Yeah. So be there waiting for it because, there's a Big Dave and a Little Junior in everybody's neighborhood. Big Dave, Stink Pot, in everybody's neighborhood. And they come out after dark and they be stalking. They see that TV sitting up there on your step, they're going to get it. So the winner, please be there waiting for your TV. Everybody know a Big Dave come out after dark. You never see him in the daytime. The law probably looking for him. And they looking for stuff like that. A big old TV sitting on the front step of a 55 inch. Big Dave will get you. But there got to be a winner. Send $10 to that Cash App right there. We have challenged each other. Everybody get one per day. I got my one yesterday. Now, like I said, I don't know if they was somebody that I got, but it came during my 2 hours, so I'm taking credit for it. It was dropped into the Cash App between 2 and 4, so I take credit for that one. Right? Yeah. Okay. It is now 2:59. It's time for The Voice. But we had Fender Bender, Tim Layton, #JBT, Lonnie Lee, #JBT, Corey Franks, #JBT, Real Prison Talk. That's Coach Tommy. That's his new show. Get over there and subscribe to it. The link is in there. The link is up there. A little ways up. Hit that and subscribe to him. His first video is out. Mike Magic here today. Showtime, the guy, PASS. Miss Cash, #JBT. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. I appreciate you. As always, tomorrow is going to be about power punching. Brought to you by Jay Hartford. Make sure you stop by and see that. Just Do Boxing is getting ready to start. It's the birthday show. See you over there. Cast Sports. Everybody have a great day.